The relations between Russia and the United States have been nearing a crisis point following Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Following Russia's latest actions, NATO military commanders have been granted the authority to, wherever needed, NATO's forces. Welcome back to Comparison World Facts, and today we'll compare the United States military to Russia. So, are you among the people worried that we may be on the brink of another war? How do the United States and Russia's military compare? Keep watching closely, we've got all the answers coming right up. The United States and Russia are two of the most significant military powers in the world today, with both countries having many active service members. Their militaries are, therefore, comparable in many ways. In this article, you will learn more about what these two countries' armed forces have to offer, as well as their strengths and weaknesses. Whether you're a civilian or a member of the military, there's almost no doubt that you know someone who's currently serving or has served in the US Armed Forces or the Russian Federation Armed Forces, also known as the Russian military. No matter how much you may know about them though, it's always important to take a look at how extensive and powerful each country's army really is. Russia has over 850,000 active service members, and a reserve force of over 250,000. Russia's military is currently the world's fourth largest, just behind the United States. Like most nations, Russia's military is primarily composed of ground troops, an air force, and a navy. Although the US has a higher number of active military personnel than Russia, Russia's land forces are larger than the US's. This is because the Russian military consists of the entire country's military, whereas the US military is spread out to the United States territory, as well as other bases across the world. The United States has almost 1.4 million active service members and a reserve force of over 400,000. The US has the world's largest and most powerful military. Unlike Russia's military, the United States military consists of 6 branches: the Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard, and Marine Corps. So, what does each country spend on its military? Well, Russia's defense budget in 2020 was $61.7 billion. Although there are no confirmed numbers, some say that Russia will spend almost double the $61 billion it spent in 2020. In the United States during 2020, it was $766 billion, which has raised to $782 billion since 2020. So, which country has the bigger navy? Despite their massive vessels, the US still ranks as the highest ranked navy in the world because of their larger number of large ships, such as 10 aircraft carriers of 100,000 tons each and 62 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers weighing in almost 10,000 tons each. On the other hand, Russia has only one aircraft carrier of 55,000 tons and 13 destroyers, with one of the biggest ones at about 7,000 tons. Did you know that the United States and Russia are the two biggest players in cybersecurity? But who's leading the war in regards to cybersecurity innovations? Let's look at the two countries' cyber teams and see who's ahead in the game. Both countries have well-funded and highly skilled teams of cyber warriors. Who is really ahead in the game? The United States has the NSA and the CIA, while Russia has the FSB and the GRU. Both countries have teams of highly skilled hackers. Both countries have used their teams of hackers to spy on each other, and both have been successful in doing so. However, the United States has been more successful in recent years in using its hacking capabilities to impact the Russian government. In 2016, the CIA successfully hacked into the Russian government's email system and released a trove of embarrassing emails. This led to the resignation of Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev. The United States has been involved in more cyber attacks than any other country. The NSA has been blamed for the Stuxnet virus, which caused extensive damage to Iran's nuclear program. The CIA was behind the creation of the malware known as Carido, or the Mask, which was used to spy on government officials and diplomats. The malware was discovered in 2013 by security researchers, who noted that it was one of the most sophisticated pieces of spyware they have ever seen. The United States has accused Russia of meddling in the 2016 election. In addition, Russia has been accused of the cyber attack on US infrastructure. It is not yet decided which country has the best cybersecurity, but the United States is ranked first on the world's best cyber team list, and Russia ranks fourth. How has Russia's military been performing in Ukraine? The success of Ukraine's recent counteroffensive has uncovered the rotten reality behind Russia's military might. Since Vladimir Putin's Ukraine invasion began more than 6 months ago, it has become clear that his army is a deeply flawed institution. Instead, the Russian military suffers from endemic corruption, low morale, poor leadership, and a lack of individual initiative. The military's disastrous defeat in northeastern Ukraine last week, which could turn into one of Russia's most shameful military defeats, will only worsen the situation, as officers are gripped with fear as Moscow seeks scapegoats for what will undoubtedly be one of the country's most shameful military failures. From now on, every decision made by Russian commanders in Ukraine will be influenced by fear. They'll not be worried about losing valuable lives or hurting Russia's national interests. They will be concerned about being punished by a vindictive hierarchy for rapidly deteriorating performance of the Russian army. Western observers apparently failed to comprehend the quality of quantity. The military's struggles in Ukraine have also exposed Vladimir Putin's authoritarian regime. The invasion force set in motion in February 2022 was embarrassingly inadequate. But Putin's obsession with Ukraine's destruction ensured no one spoke up. On the other hand, Putin's reliance on the invulnerability of the Russian army and his unhinged determination that Ukraine is illegitimate were allowed to prevail over the military's expertise. Putin's fantasy world collided with the harsh reality when Russia suffered a decisive defeat in the battle for Kiev in April 2022 and had to withdraw from Snake Island. In both cases, these laughable gestures were portrayed as signs of goodwill. In addition, an onboard fire on the Russian Black Sea Fleet flagship, the Moskva, accidentally sank the Ukrainian ship in March 2018. It's not surprising that Russian propagandists have attempted to spin the recent Carido retreat as a planned regrouping. These bizarre explanations are not persuasive to the general public, demonstrating Russia's lack of consciousness about losing. It is increasingly impossible for international observers to deny the true state of the Russian military, making Ukrainian victory in the Kharkiv offensive even more evident. Kharkiv has demonstrated beyond doubt that Ukraine can conduct a large-scale offensive and reclaim territories Russia has held for long periods. While the conflict is not over yet, most people now recognize that Ukraine has taken the lead. Lastly, who is the true superpower? The true superpower is, without a doubt, the United States. It's got a better navy, a larger active force, a larger population, it's got similar nuclear capabilities, and it's got the protection of NATO if it were to be attacked. On top of this, the US also has the world's largest economy, which it can use to fund any of its wars, should the US find itself in another. Also, it's hard to argue that Russia could take on the US when it can't seem to take on a small country like Ukraine. Well, there you have it. Everything you need to know about Russia versus the United States military comparison. Do you agree who we named our true superpower? Let us know why or why not in the comments section. Also be sure to like the video or subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching.